Welcome to Take 5. I'm Nick Park, and I'm taking us through a series of messages where we see Jesus in the Old Testament, in every single book of the Old Testament. And we've reached 2 Chronicles. And in 2 Chronicles, Solomon is one of the key figures in the setting up of the temple. And as part of the temple that Solomon set up, we're told about the 24/7 praise and worship that took place there. Now, that was not new. When David set up the tabernacle, the tent, the meeting tent of the Lord, and in Jerusalem, it was set up with 288 prophetic singers and 4,000 musicians who praised God 24 hours a day. They took it in turns, in shifts. In fact, Psalm 134 was written to encourage the night shift when they were worshipping in the temple and there was hardly anybody there, and maybe it just wasn't as exciting as being there whenever all the sacrifices were taking place in the daytime. And so the psalm encourages them, "Come bless the Lord, O you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord." But Solomon carried this 24/7 worship from the tabernacle into the temple. And this was designed to be a picture of heaven, because 24/7 worship takes place in heaven. We're told that in Revelation chapter 4 and verse 8 about the living creatures that surround the throne of God. And day and night, it says, they do not cease to sing out God's praises. So here in the temple, as it happened in the tabernacle, you had this amazing operation. I mean, just think about your local church and think about all the worship practices and everything that's necessary to have a praise and worship team do a few songs on a Sunday. And now think of what was required in order to have 288 singers and 4,000 musicians operating in shifts around the clock non-stop. It was a mammoth undertaking, but that they wanted to have this picture of what heaven is like. Now, today in the Church of Jesus Christ, we have a similar picture of Jesus Christ. I'm not just talking about the 24/7 movement, prayer movement, for example, but there is continual praise and worship taking place, because through the death of Christ on the cross and through people, the missionary expansion and people coming into the Church of Jesus Christ from all across the world, now it doesn't need Solomon to do shifts in the temple, because Jesus has his followers praising all around the world, and it's happening non-stop, because all the different time zones, when in one country they're going to bed, another country they're getting up and they're praising God again. So the voice of prayer and the voice of praise continues non-stop around the world. And there's a beautiful hymn that was written about this. Now, a lot of churches don't sing hymns anymore, and so not all of you will be familiar with this hymn, but it's a hymn which it's called "The Day Thou Gavest, Lord, is Ended." And for some reason, it in England they just sing it at funerals. It's described as a funeral hymn. And yet it's not about funerals at all. It's not about people dying at all. It's about the continual cycle of praise and worship that continues with the church around the world. Listen to the words of this beautiful hymn. "The day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. The darkness falls at thy behest. To thee our morning hymns ascended. Thy praise shall sanctify our rest. We thank thee that thy church unsleeping, while earth rolls forward into light, through all the world her watch is keeping, and rests not now by day or night. As o'er each continent and island the dawn leads on another day, the voice of prayer is never silent, nor dies the strain of praise away. The sun that bids us rest is waking our brethren neath the western sky, and hour by hour fresh lips are making thy wondrous doings heard on high. So be it, Lord, thy throne shall never, like earth's proud empires, pass away. Thy kingdom stands and grows forever, till all thy creatures own thy sway. So just as happened in the tabernacle, just as happened in the temple, now the Church of Jesus Christ is fulfilling that with a much greater 24/7 continual song of worship going on around the world from time zone to time zone to time zone. And it's all foretelling whenever we stand and see Jesus face to face in glory, and the song will continue. As it has been continuing in the presence of the Father for all eternity, the song we will sing, the song of the Lamb. and it will be a glorious day indeed. And that's what 2 Chronicles looks forward to. God bless you. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.